Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Chayin Apash coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled, You Other Camps Lack Oil. Okay, you other camps lack oil. And this is a clear example of that. When I was watching this on Friday, um, I seen when he came up, and this was someone that's following the ISUPK. I don't know if he's actually in the ranks, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. And the elders was asking him some very basic questions, right? But it's basic to us because the men of Great Millstone, you have to have a certain level of knowledge before you enter into Great Millstone. But these other camps don't have such a strict curriculum, a strict standards. As a matter of fact, let me look up the word strict. All right, because even when you look at Chat GPT, it tells you how Great Millstone is strict when it comes to the Bible, and that's how you're supposed to be, right? The Heavenly Father and His Son Yahweh Shai is strict when it comes to the correctness of teaching the scriptures. Okay, this is the word strict. It says demanding that rules concerning behavior are obeyed and observed. Right, demanding meaning it must be obeyed and observed. Okay, the rules, and one of the rules, right, concerning behavior is what is that you understand, that you have some level of knowledge. Okay, it says of a rule or discipline demanding total obedience or observance, rigidly enforced of a person following rules or beliefs exactly. Right. So the rules, part of the rules is, like I said, you have to have a level of understanding. Okay. Because in order for you to come into the camp, if people come up to ask you a question, you need to understand what the scriptures is talking about in order to give an answer. The scriptures also say to what? Be ready to give an answer. Be ready. Right. This is First Peter's 3:15. It says, "But sanctify the Lord power in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear." So you have to be ready to give an answer, meaning you have to understand. That's why the scriptures say what? Study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Because when he came up, even though the brothers weren't trying to shame him necessarily, he became shamed in front of his girlfriend. He was brought to shame. Okay, and she could clearly see that he didn't know what he was involved in, right? Which a woman is just following her man. She doesn't know what the hell's going on, but he doesn't know what he's involved in. Okay, and ultimately, no one could come and claim that they're part of Great Millstone and not know these basic things that he does not know. And this is not just him. This is with the rest of these camps too, because the rest of these camps, they don't take the time to make sure that their sheep is being brought up in the right way. They don't do that. Even if their leaders, certain of their leaders are studied, they don't make sure that the congregation are studied, that the men of Great Millstone, our apostles and elders, they made sure that we were studied. Okay, the scriptures say that. Hold on, let me get that. Be diligent to know. Let's get that. Okay, right. This is um, this is Proverbs 27 and verse 23. It says, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds." Right. So the leaders of these churches are set up as shepherds. Okay, and the shepherds are supposed to know the state of their herd. Okay, they're supposed to know when a sheep is sick, when a sheep is missing, when a sheep is malnourished, so on and so forth. Okay. So, you know, men that are, camp leaders and so on and so forth in the Great Millstone, they're aware of the level of their men, and they cultivate them into being on a level. Okay. If not, it's going to be addressed. You should know this. You should know the Hebrew alphabet. You should know this. You should know that. Okay. And men will get cursed out if they don't know it. All right. You see what I'm saying? And they better learn it quick. Certain things that they need to know. Right. But either way, before they even come into the camp, there's a level that they have to be on. Okay. Just like when you go into these top colleges, you have to pass a particular test. You have to have a level of knowledge to even enter into that college. It's the same thing with Great Millstone. You have to have a level of knowledge before you enter in. You know, and I speak sometimes about a brother that came up. He's a cool brother. He's a cool brother. But when he came up, he was following the other camps. Hopefully he's learning from us now, because I've seen him on the comment board a few times. Hopefully he's learning from us and he knows more than what he knew when he was following those camps. Because when he was following, I believe it was Sakari, and I asked him a very simple question. The question was, who is known as the Word of God? I mean, the brother had the look of an Israelite, but he didn't understand that. I mean, he had the complete look of Israel, had the staff and everything, but he did not know that simple question. Okay, and I'm not getting on the brother. I'm not getting on the brother like to belittle him or anything like that. He's a cool brother, but I'm saying that at the end of the day, when you follow these other camps, they're not making sure that you're built up. What they're giving you is entertainment. That's what it is. It's entertainment. This is the main thing that they offer to these other camps is entertainment. Let's look up the word entertainment, the etymology of the word entertainment. That's what these other camps are, brother. Okay? Etymology. And that's what they look for. That's why they have all those clickbait titles. When you put out a certain type of bait, you're going to get a certain type of fish. Okay? Our bait is the pure word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? This is the word entertainment. It says provision for support of a retainer manner of social behavior, now obsolete, along with other senses from entertain. Let's look up the word entertain. It says to keep up, maintain, to keep someone in a certain frame of mind. And what's the frame of mind that they're keeping them in? They're keeping their minds occupied. Okay, but it's not occupied with prophecy. It's not occupied with the understanding of the scriptures. It's occupied with frivolous nonsense. Okay, from Old French entretenir, which tenir in French means to hold. So I know the word hold is in there, which says hold together, stick together, support. So the only thing that's keeping these camps going or keeping these people watching these camps is the entertainment. See, we don't have this this glue in Great Millstone to keep these camps entertained. The Heavenly Father has dissolved that glue. When I first was watching the apostles, a lot of people would come up, and that would be part of, I couldn't wait to see them cut an individual, right? When I was first coming, there was always, and even now, if you see certain things of a brother coming up, you want to see, the interaction, right? But the reason we were watching them was not just for the entertainment; it was also to learn. Okay, it was also to learn. So when that entertainment is gone, okay, which this is likened unto to comeliness, right? And I'm gonna show you that, right? Because Yahweh Shai, he didn't come with entertainment. All right, when that entertainment is gone, are you still going to be held up? Are you still going to be able to be held up and listen to this word? And we find out that these other camps, they're not willing to do that. A lot of these people in these other camps are not willing to do that. The mass majority of them are there for the purpose of entertainment. Now we look at the word mint, right? in entertainment. It says mentum. It says a common suffix of Latin origin forming nouns originally from French and representing Latin mentum, which was added to verb stems to make nouns indicating the result of product of or a result or product of the action of the verb or the means or instrument of the action. In vulgar Latin and Old French, it came to be used as a formative in nouns of action. French inserts an e between the verbal root suffix. Oh, goodness gracious, man. I mean, etymology online used to be more straightforward. It says used with English verb amazement. Okay, the last which illustrates the habit of turning. Okay, before suffix. I mean, okay, stems from meant is normally appended are those verbs freaks like automatic. Brother, listen, man. Listen, brother. I'm already getting a headache reading that shit. Okay? It's like, well, what does meant mean? Just tell me the meaning of meant. Golly. Hey, anyways. I mean, at this point. Listen, man. The word entertain is good enough. Okay? The word entertain means to hold up. Okay? To hold up. Okay, so they're being the reason why these people are still listening to these guys is based upon entertainment, and this is why they don't have understanding. This is why these individuals come up, they don't know what the fuck is going on. He's like, ISUPK is the way, and he just that's just a slogan. That's just a slogan. But he doesn't even understand what ISUPK teaches and why it's incorrect. You see, this is Jude 1. Now Jude 1 in verse 11. It says, "Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perish in the gainsaying of Kor. These are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water, carrying about of winds," right? So they don't have, they're not holding water, right? They're not holding the truth. They don't have the understanding, right? The Lord said that he that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow what? Rivers of living water. But you have to understand and believe on Yahushua as the scriptures tell you. Okay? Carried about of winds, trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the root. Right? Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And to be honest, he's like a wandering star. He's like, he didn't know what the hell was going on. Like somebody just spin him around 50 times and pushed him into a camp. And he's just dizzy. He just doesn't know what the hell is happening. Okay? You can't talk. That's what I'm saying. And we've seen examples of that. And it's not unique to ISUPK, although ISUPK seems to get the lowest IQ individuals out there, you know? But, generally speaking, okay? But, you have some of the people like, that know some things, like Captain Cesario, which he still doesn't have the truth. He still doesn't know the full truth. Okay? But, you have certain people that know a few things. But generally, and those are the ones that most likely rise up in the ranks. But the rest of them, they just really don't know what the hell is happening. Okay, and this is a theme with including IUIC. IUIC, when you question those people, they don't know what the hell is happening. They're on a very low level. They're very much mockingbirds of Bishop Nathaniel, but they don't have the true understanding. Okay, so now, when you go to Matthew's, well, before I even get that, I wanted to deal with comeliness, right? Because when it speaks about Yahweh Shai, right, dealing with the entertainment, right? Yahweh Shai didn't come with that entertainment nonsense. This is Isaiah 53 in verse 1. It says, "Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him." And this is not speaking about his physical appearance. This is speaking about the gimmicks, speaking about having the big, nice garments like the wicked scribes and Pharisees, okay? Blowing the trumpet in the street before they pray, like IUIC does. They blow the trumpet and then literally pray, okay? Right? Which is said actually the Pharisees, they blew the trumpet before they gave alms, which is similar. The scriptures say to take up, pray in your closet and shut your door. The IUIC literally blew a trumpet, so we gonna pray for our enemies because we keep the commandments. Brr, blow the trumpet. Brr. It's like these guys are that's the perfect example of how the wicked scribes and Pharisees would come. Okay, but when you deal with this word comeliness, right? Let's look up this. Like I said, that has to do with entertainment. That has to do with entertainment. That has to do with gimmicks. That has to do with having a beautiful garments. Okay, glory, majesty, honor, beauty. Right, like the AI videos they have, and they have themselves glowing and with spiritual powers. Comeliness, excellency, glorious, goodly, ornament, splendor, honor, ornament. That's a what? That's a decoration. That's decorative. Okay. Splendor, majesty, honor, glory, magnificence. Okay. Right. And like I said, this is not dealing with, let's go to the root. This is not dealing with how he looks. This is dealing with gimmicks and having something that attracted the people to him. That's what it means. Okay. Yahushua came lowly, you know. Even when he came in riding on what? A donkey. He didn't come on a horse or in a majestic. He came on a donkey. It says honor, countenance, crooked places, glorious put forth to swell. Right? Swelling. Right? In other words, what? Make yourself big. Nah. Yahushua came lowly. Okay? To honor, to pay honor to, show partiality, to adorn, right? To honor oneself. Yeah, so he came lowly. All right, let's look up this word adorn. Right, so like I said, this is going into what? The gimmicks, the purple and gold garment and all this extra stuff. All right, that's all for show. That's all to draw the people in. But you draw in the wrong fruit. You draw in the unclean fishes, unclean sea creatures, rather than the elect. It says adorn, make more beautiful or attractive. Let's go into the word attractive. Okay, attractive meaning, right? It says pleasing or appealing to the senses. See, so when they speak in that eloquent tone, and when they got these nice garments, they got the gold lion in the back, and they got all this, the marching and all this nonsense that's superfluous and not scriptural. They're doing that to what? To appeal to the senses of the people of the world. See, but the elect, we don't need that, because what we're listening to is the pure voice of Yahushua. So we don't need all of these gimmicks in order for us to be attracted to the word. See, they'll listen to these type of lessons, and they'll listen to the lessons that brothers do on the Hebrew, or Yahushua's sacrifice. Other Yahshua did a lesson on on something similar to that, about the first fruits and so on and so forth. And you're not going to get as much views on those videos as you get on the other ones, right? Because what? Because it's not appealing to the senses. It's not entertainment. It's purely educational. See? appealing to look at, sexually alluring, something to allure you, to hypnotize you. That's what IUIC does. That's what ISUPK does. The things that they do, the way they come, it's alluring these people, but it's alluring these people for the wrong reasons, not for the reason of the word, not for the voice of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so therefore you get individuals like this that don't know what's going on. Okay, and he'll probably keep he'll and people like this will most likely keep, maybe not, we'll see, but most likely he'll keep following that because he likes the feeling they give him. It's like when a woman deals with a man, like they deal with men. Oh, because I like the feeling, not because he's an honorable man, not because he's righteous, not because he'll take care of her, but because they give you a particular feeling. It's all based upon emotions, which really is governed by Satan. All right, it's not about, is this the truth? All right, this is Matthew 25 in verse 1. It says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps." Now the oil represents this wisdom and knowledge. Okay? I'm telling you, these guys, they don't want to go head to head with Great Millstone in the scriptures. The reason they don't want to go head to head, and why they always bring up, ad hominem attacks, oh, you're a rapist, and so on and so forth, is because they know that they're not on the level of Great Millstone when it comes to the scriptures and the prophecies. Okay? See, that's why. Because Great Millstone has that oil. And you have certain people of their congregation that are of the elect that are like, you know what, I got to leave. And I got to follow Great Millstone because, regardless of what they say, I'm learning from them. They're actually teaching me the knowledge of the scriptures. See? It says, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps, right? So they didn't take any oil. They don't have the understanding, but the wise have the understanding. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, "Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him." All right. Now the bridegroom is what? That's Yahweh Shai. Okay, so when Yahweh Shai comes back to deliver the elect, those that don't have that oil, they're not going to be coming up in the ship. Okay, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto the wise, "Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out." But the wise answered, saying, "Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourself." Go and get this truth for yourself, man. Maybe the Most High will open up your brain to understand this. But you know what? There's going to be a time when it's too late. See, when all hell breaks loose, that's not the time that you're going to get to understand the scriptures. No, you have to understand the scriptures beforehand, right? And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." Right? But he answered and said, "Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh." Right? And he doesn't know you. If you don't have the oil, he doesn't know you. If you don't have the understanding, you know, of who the true men of the Lord are, he doesn't know you. Okay? The scriptures say that he will love, he only delights in those that dwell in wisdom, roughly paraphrasing. He doesn't delight in people that's teaching false doctrines. And listen, you may not fully know how to break things down and break prophecies down and so on and so forth. That doesn't mean that you're not of the elect, right? As long as the Spirit showed you the true men of the Lord, and you believe on Yahweh Shai, right? Because not every brother is a prophet. Not everybody is a prophet. You got helps. You got different brothers with different offices that may even be in camps that are not really even prophets. Okay. That's the facts. Okay, the prophets are just the highest rank. All right. Now let me get that to back up what I'm saying. This is Revelations 14 and verse 3. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song, and the song represents this doctrine. But the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Okay, so 144,000 are the only ones that's going to understand this song. Okay, the top governing body. Okay, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Right, meaning we didn't fall into any other philosophies or false doctrines like these other camps to teaching that there's a place that you burn forever underground. Okay, teaching that other nations can make it, teaching that the MOTB is a sin or an embargo or any type of nonsense. See, those are people that are following after strange women. John the Baptist is not in the truth. When the Lord Himself said John the Baptist was in the truth, these are people following after strange women. I don't have to listen to Paul. Paul is, what Paul said doesn't matter. Those are people that are following after strange women, even if they know they're Israelites. These are they, because that's demons that seduce them to believe that. Okay, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So no matter what, the elect is going to follow where Yahushua's voice is. So they don't need gimmicks and all that extra BS, because they really want to learn the truth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High, into the Lamb. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you got certain people, right? They'll go to a college, and they want to go to a particular college because they know it's fun and there's a lot of girls there. The college is not a quality college, but they know that they can have a lot of fun there. So that person is not really there to learn like that. See what I'm saying? But then you have these other people that that want to go to a high level college so that they can learn, that they can really get the best education possible. They don't want to go to that bullshit college, although they can have fun. They want to go to a college where they know they can really learn and excel in their trade or their career. And those people that follow these other camps, they just want to be entertained. They just want to have fun. That's why they have constant clickbait, constant 100% pure clickbait. Oh, Edomite hops up and gets his head chopped up with the word or this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, B, how much time are you going to push it? And they only want to push out clickbait. Nothing edifying, nothing to sit down. Let's go into the sacrifice of Yahushua, which is the main part of this ministry. This, it's all pure entertainment, bro. This is why these guys are not on a level. And if you don't have that oil in the times that we're coming into, because things are about to be shut down. If you don't have that oil in the time that we're coming into, it's finished, man. You're finished. You're gonna be done. Okay, you're gonna be done. The Lord is not gonna help you. He's not gonna save you. Okay, you're gonna be out there just like a regular civilian, lost, confused, perplexed. Okay. So if you listen to this and you're from another camp, you better find the right camp. You better find the right camp and really listen to what the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and the brothers on down are saying, and see who really has the truth. Don't listen to the fluff and the BS and the propaganda. Listen to who really has the truth, so that you can actually learn. See something here. There was a couple things. Maybe I get this. This is Acts 17 and verse 11. I'll start at verse 10. It says, and the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews, These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, right? In that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So they fact checked what the apostle was saying. They didn't just take it for face value. ISUPK is the way. ISUPK is the way. No, they weren't in no zombie state. They checked. Okay, is this scriptural? Right? And if the spirit is working with you, you can see that the things that the men of Great Millstone are saying, what we're saying is scriptural. The doctrine we teach is scriptural. Okay, this is Second Timothy's 2:1. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushai, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So we're supposed to be getting what? Committing this to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. You can't teach others also if you're not learning anything. If you're just winging it, if you're just there for entertainment, you can't teach anybody. All right? And the brothers was really trying to teach you. If this guy was sincere, he would have stuck around and said, "Damn, oh shit, I never learned none of this. Let me sit back and take note. Let me try to get this." You know? If he was sincere, he'd be back next week with a notepad. Okay? Trying to really understand this, or watching the videos, taking notes, really trying to understand this thing. See? Instead of trying to correct elders who clearly are light years away from you, man, in knowledge. Oh, the scriptures say don't interrupt the man in his speech. But what? You don't know nothing. What the hell are you talking about? Interrupt a man? What do you know? You don't even know. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh boy, you don't even know that John the Baptist is a man of the Lord. You don't understand, brother. I guarantee he does. If you ask him who's the word of the Most High, he doesn't even know that. Who was the who's the first son of Jacob born? Who was the firstborn son of Jacob? He don't know that. I'm sure of it. Okay. What did Esau sell his birthright for? What does the name Jacob mean? When was his name changed to Israel? Simple questions. They don't know these things. So, anyways, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all the praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem HaKadosh, that belongs to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. With that, I'll say shalom.